Welcome, I'm Roy LeFew with Grace Computer Resources, and this is Tech Tuesday. Today is Never Pay the Ransom. Uh, Last week we talked about phishing and the ways that bad actors can trick you out of your username and passwords. And if they are successful in doing that, one of the things they can do is then get into your computer and your network. That's called a breach. And then they can start doing really bad things like encrypting your data. And once they've encrypted your data, then you can no longer open files, your Word documents, your Excel files, email, whatever it is, you won't be able to access any longer. And what they do then is they say, hey, you want your data back? You want to be able to open these files? All you have to do is pay this ransom. And that's become known as ransomware. A lot of times your only choice is to pay the ransom. You don't have a good backup, or the restoration process would take too long. You can't afford the downtime. So businesses all across the world have been forced into paying ransoms when this happens to them. Um, in fact, ransomware and cybercrime in general have surpassed illegal drug trafficking as a criminal enterprise. It's very profitable. Some hackers are even selling how-to kits on the internet to other would-be hackers, so they can perpetuate and make a income off of that. So once hackers realize that people are getting a little more savvy and are a little more due diligent oriented with their data, backing it up and having a recovery mechanism, they decided to take a step further. So what happens today is often once you're breached, the hacker will just sit there very quietly, very silently, and start siphoning off your data. They're going to copy your data off of your system. You won't even know that it's happening in the background. And now they've got a complete replica of all your data. They're going to start going through it. They're going to look for ways that they can get to your money. And that's what they want. They're going to find out about your friends. They're going to find out about your company that you work for, how everything works. What can they glean from this data that would allow them to siphon off more of your money? And because of that, then a lot of companies, even with very good backups, are forced to pay a ransom because they're threatened with the fact that once this data is been siphoned off their system, the hacker can then release that onto the dark web. Maybe they're going to start selling off pieces of information that are um, profitable to them. Maybe it's just something that will embarrass you. But whatever it is, they can now threaten to release your data into the wild. And that's usually a good motivation to pay the ransom. Um, a lot of cases of this happens to small businesses, and the business is forced to close. They just cannot recover from this big of a loss. So it's very serious business. And you might not be worried about cybercrime. That happens to bigger companies like Microsoft, Bank of America, that kind of thing, Google. But the fact of the matter is that cyber criminals go after whatever's the biggest opportunity for success for them. So if you were a hacker, would you focus on a company that spends millions of dollars a year on cybersecurity? Or would you go after someone who doesn't even think that they could be a victim of cyber crime? So it is a huge business, and it's a huge problem. Next week we are going to talk about how you can avoid being breached, and save your personal data, save your company's data. And we'll see you next week. As always, thanks for tuning in. And please share this with your friends and your colleagues. If you have someone that you know or you personally have been involved in a breach and a ransomware event, post down in the comments and let us know how that resolved for you. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.